Anyways, I'm going to get started. Thank you guys for joining this room. Okay, my name is Olanikee, and I'm the CEO and founder of Goddess Detox, which is a spiritual self-love women's wellness company, as well as Selfish Babes, which is my personal development and self-love company, really helping women learning how to focus on self-love and put themselves first, but just showing women that they can be selfishly themselves and being authentic. And so now, in terms of the Selfish Talk podcast, which is what we're recording right now, usually, like I said, I'm recording in my room by myself, or I just take out my camera and I just start to record. And one thing I've really loved about ClubHouse so far is the interactiveness, the fact that there's no real like social media elitism. And what that is like, if somebody doesn't have a certain number of followers, then you probably may not talk to that person. And I've seen that a lot on Instagram. And so I'm like, well, I really do enjoy recording my podcast and sharing my thoughts, but I also really enjoy hearing other people's thoughts and, seeing their different perspectives. And so today, I want to say Happy New Year's or Happy New Year for 2021. Technically, we have already began 2021 already, but today, this is what happened. I'm going to read my tweet first of all that I had tweeted today. And this is the tweet that I had said. It said, having help is nice. Okay, I refuse to be a strong, hardworking woman. I am allowing flow and ease into my life on the daily with lots of love and support, aligning to what my life is. And yeah, aligning to what my life is. And this thought came to me because today I had somebody, fold up my laundry that I did not want to do. And so literally, it was like a whole freaking pile of laundry sitting on the couch. And this is laundry that's probably a good 2 to 3 weeks old. And so there's this like big pile of laundry sitting on the couch. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. And I keep staring at it and I keep staring at it. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, there's no ounce in my body that feels like I really want to fold these clothes right now. And, I've done that before where I'm like, okay, I'll get to it. But today was different. Like, I literally did not want to do it. And so I've been having this lady come, really, blessed to have this lady come like maybe once a week or once every other week, to just clean my home. And to, this is the first time I had ever asked her, hey, are you able to, fold my laundry? Because before she was just sweeping and mopping and, doing some, cleaning around the house. And so I've never actually had her fold my laundry before, but I was staring at this thing and I just texted her last night and I was like, hey, I know it's really late, but I really want to ask, hey, can you come in tomorrow and can you like fold my laundry and do this and do that? And she was like, yeah, no problem. And I said, okay. And it wasn't until I had went out to the living room and seen like all the neat piles of clothes put up that I was like, wow, this is fucking nice. Like, I like this. I like that I can come outside and see this damn pile of laundry that I did not want to fold like neat. And so I was able to like put things up. But it was just that perspective in that moment of like, wow, having help is so nice. Like, I don't want to be a strong, hardworking woman. Now I will say something to my statement, okay? In my statement, I'm putting strong and hardworking together because I think when women, I think growing up, like women have been told to be strong, hardworking. That's the compliment, especially that a lot of Black women, give to their mothers and, the people that raised them, their grandmothers. Oh, that was a strong, hardworking woman. And I understand that in those moments, our mothers or grandmothers needed to be strong and hardworking to either get by or to, succeed or to take care of us, et cetera, et cetera. But as I am going into this new phase of my life, I don't necessarily want to be called a strong, hardworking woman. Now, that does not take away from my actual strength as a woman. I, get that, I understand that, but I'm just saying the point of being a strong, hardworking woman, it just sounds like a lot of work that I don't want to do. And so I do want to invite any of you guys that are just joining the room or in the room right now that want to talk about this topic or have any input on this topic, please raise your hands. I will invite you up to the stage on what your perspective is. Now, while I wait for that, I am going to read some of the perspectives of the Selfish Babes that had chimed in on this. And if you're not following Selfish Babes, follow Selfish Babes on Instagram at Selfish Babes, as well as download the free Selfish Babe app. I want to chime in on what some of them had said. So let me just log in real quick. On what some of them had said on what their personal perspectives was when I had asked them this question. CPG, let me see. Okay, so let me get to it. Hey, CPT. Remember to mute you real quick. I just want to read some of these statements that some of the Selfish Babes had said, and I asked you. So somebody was like, Pretty Face Jay said, I'm tired, LOL. One person says, I agree with you all. I agree with all of you ladies. Shit can take a toll on you at times. We deserve help. We're not requiring to always be strong. Society and statistics just place that upon us, as well as other things. Hey, Raquel. So one person says, it's okay not to be strong, not to do it by yourself, and to be okay with receiving help from others. Mel914 says, my take on this is simple. Know that you can do it alone, but value the help you receive. I also feel it is important to situate yourself in a position in which your support or help is available. One person says, trust me, I need the help. I don't want to be an independent woman. Last thing. One person says, Muffy got the body, says, Francis, says, I need and will receive help all 2021. 2020, I was my family's backbone with no assistance, just me and my hard work. I must say God carried me the whole time. And so I just want to be clear in my statement. When I say I refuse to be a strong, hardworking woman, I'm not necessarily talking about relationships. I know a lot of people think like, oh, relationships, they mean like, I'm saying that I don't want to be, single. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I am really aligning myself to flow, to ease, to receiving love and support. And I think that is the opposite of what we've been taught growing up. It's like, no, you have to be this strong, hardworking woman. And when I hear that now, it just seems like a very hard life that I don't want to do. Now, so I want to invite CPT. You were the first one that came up on stage. What is your input? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on that. I know that, of course, I'm a male, but
we love it though.
To me, once I see that saying I refuse to be a strong, hardworking woman, I take into consideration like my mother and other powerful women in my life. What I see from them in a spiritual sense is their faith. Mm-hmm. And I believe once you have that connection with ancestors, and just in spirituality in general, not saying that your life is going to be completely easy, but I definitely think that they provide you with the tools to navigate through certain hardships, less impactful than other people do. Especially once it comes to trauma and being able to deal with that. And that's what I feel in regards to that saying, because that there is a saying that sometimes you have to work extremely hard to get what you want in life. Yeah. You have to go through these things to obtain some type of whatever you desire. And I believe that if you work smart and you're strategic in what you do and you're cautious in the decisions that you make, you can profit off of that, being intellectual about that aspect of life.
Yes, totally agree. And I like your perspective on these women having the faith, right? The faith and that connection, that spiritual connection. I think that's very important, because I'm in my journey, I'm learning more that the stuff that we don't see, I like to call the invisible world, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of stuff going on there. And I feel like the more I'm learning, the more I'm putting myself in the invisible world. Yes, I'm doing this work here in this physical reality, but I'm also going to do my work in the invisible, which is my prayers, my affirmations, honoring my ancestors, honoring the Orisha, et cetera, et cetera. And so I really like your perspective. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I believe when we do that invisible work, we can have our lives be a lot more easier. And like you said, working smarter. I think working smarter involves working with the spiritual, working with the, the invisible world. So thank you so much, CPs, for that. I appreciate it.
No problem at all. Thank you.
And Francesca, did I say that right? You're next.
Yes, you definitely said it right, and I agree with you guys wholeheartedly. I know sometimes I'm like, you know what? I can do my own hair, but I deserve to have someone work for me. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm an employee, I'm a business owner. Well, so it's like you said, you deserve to have someone work for you. And CPT, you definitely said it well about working smarter. You know, people before us, our ancestors before us, they just didn't know what they didn't know.
Yes.
And now that we have the knowledge, we know that you can still, you know, get paid and still be a woman and or be a man, you know, whatever it is, and still have someone do things for you because you work smart enough to have that system in place. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Francesca. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, I'm just to reset the room. Okay, I'm learning my ClubHouse lingo. Just to reset the room, we're talking about the statement that I talked about today, which is, I refuse to be a strong, hardworking woman, allowing ease. And this is going off of my tweet that I said, having help is nice. Okay, I refuse to be a strong, hardworking woman. I am allowing flow and ease into my life on the daily with lots of love and support, aligning to what my life is. So again, if you are in the audience and you do want to speak too, please do raise your hand. It's no problem at all to do so, and I will invite you up to speak. Now, I do want to say this because Francesca had mentioned, you know, maybe some of our ancestors didn't know what they didn't know, right? And so my thing is, I think that at a time where I'm talking about enslavement, I'm talking about maybe, you know, Black people in this world kind of coming up, quote unquote, in America. So for me, I can say yes, at a time there was a lot of hidden knowledge, yes, but I also want to be honest and say, hey, they had to work hard. They were in very harsh, abusive, violent, emotionally traumatizing environments. And so it's like, working hard was just what they had to do. Working hard, I think, is in the blood of, you know, of our people. I think that's just in our blood. Now, you know, in a new era, especially when people are talking about, okay, let's normalize Black luxury or Black girl luxury, why are we saying these statements? We're saying these statements so that we can kind of, what's the right word? We're trying to like let go of that energy that we have to work extremely hard to see success, that we have to work extremely hard to get an ounce of help, et cetera, et cetera. And so as I am aligning more into my personal divine femininity and my feminine energy, I am having more so a role of receiving. Now, this doesn't mean that I don't put work into my business and what I do, because I do that as well. I'm just saying that I don't want this to be attached to me. I don't want people to be like, oh my God, Olanikee Osi was just such a strong, hardworking woman. I'm like, no, like I don't want that around my name, because I really want to be a woman now where it's like I am delegating more. I'm having lots of love and support. I am like telling my team what I want to do, but I also want to make this acknowledgement. It took me some time to be here. I gave you guys the example of I had a cleaner come in and fold my laundry today, and how good that freaking felt. When I saw those piles of clothes, that was like a large ass fucking pile of clothes on my couch that I didn't want to do, to walk out to my living room and see that she had folded them, taught me a new hanging up method. Like I didn't hang up pants this way ever before, but to see that, and I'm just like, that in that moment, I was just so grateful. I was so grateful to receive help. And that's when I wrote that tweet, because I was like, it's nice to receive help. It's nice to have other people do something for you. But I am, and I will acknowledge this, I'm in a position where I can pay somebody to do the things that I don't necessarily want to do now. And I'm very grateful for that, because at one point, hey, Ola, I'll get to you in 1 second. At one point, I didn't have that. At one point, I had to operate in my masculine energy. And as males, females, or theys, you know, whatever your pronoun is, we both have a masculine energy and a feminine energy. They merge together, they come together. And at one point when I was building my business, Goddess Detox, which is my first business, I had to operate in my masculine. I had to go. I had to do. I could not afford to pay other people to do other things. I was the one doing everything. But now that my business has grown and I have the funds, you know, the abundance capital to reward and pay other people through money exchange, now I can do a little bit more receiving, or a lot more receiving than I was used to. Thank you, Ola, for joining the stage. What do you have to say, love?
Hi, Olanikee. Nice to meet you.
You too.
I think it's a really good point that you brought up, right? That it took you a while to get to where you're currently at, which is a place where you can actually have transactional relationships where you're able to pay people to do things for you so that you can actually receive and settle in, and kind of have that balance between your masculinity and your femininity. But I think it'll be nice if, other people want to chime in and just kind of talk about what happens when you don't have the funds, right?
Yes.
Like, you had to, and I've been where you were at before, so I totally get it. But I think sometimes it's not always about money. It's nice that you have the money now, right, to get that help. But let's talk about finding the right people in our lives that maybe want something else from us, right, as opposed to money, but want to assist us, right? And so just how to build those transactional relationships, that those help me, I help you kind of relationships, or just those relationships where people identify you as someone who is trying to do this thing and they just want to assist you. So I don't know how to do that yet. I'm working on that. I just started doing that this year, which is really why I'm bringing it up. Can other people just talk about what they've done, how they've been able to bring people into their lives, and how they've been able to influence people to assist them without necessarily always having to give money in return.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
No, it totally does, Ola. Thank you. I'm going to have Des and Heaven speak on that in a second as well, but I do want to answer your question because I have some advice to this. And even though I may not have necessarily done this in my time as I was building my business, because this is not just for people that have businesses, this is for anybody. I think Ola asked a very valid question. How do I receive help and get help? And how do I do that without it always having to be a monetary transaction? And so, for example, I want to say this. I think that as women, we need to be building a lot more. Raquel, can you turn your thing on mute real quick? I'm here. Thank you. I think we need to build a lot more intentional friendships. I think that, my personal opinion, okay, I think that sometimes we have friendships, or quote unquote, we need to be building sisterhoods, okay, not friendships, that are very intentional to what we may need and what we can also give to that other person. And so apart from, the surface level, maybe just hanging out, going to the club, whatever, I think that we need to have strong bonds to where you can have a sisterhood where you've grown a bond to where you can ask that person, hey, I really need this right now. Are you able to help out? But then they can also receive from you, because there's that thing about reciprocity where both people are receiving from one another. So one suggestion I have just to the audience is I really think that we should be growing more intentional sisterhoods where we ask each other some really deep questions, but hang out with each other, but not just through the surface level things. Can I really count on you? Can I really depend on you? And my other advice was going to be, I think women should be giving themselves more orgasms. I know this sounds like totally unrelated, but if a woman wants to open up herself to more receiving, I think her giving herself an orgasm in the spiritual is opening up that gateway. And I can get into that in another second. Now, Heaven, Des, Raquel, any one of you guys can chime in on what you want to say. Go ahead.
Hey, Olanikee, I just wanted to say hi and based on what Ola had mentioned, and you really touched base on a lot of it, actually, just being intentional with the people you surround yourself with. One of my biggest things is just like being around like-minded individuals that keep me, my heart full, my soul full, just, my spirit in good, positive vibrations. And so just being intentional with who you surround yourself with has really helped me a lot. Just not transactional, like you said, relationships.
Okay, so was that Heaven that was speaking, or Des?
Oh, that was me, Heaven.
Oh, hey, Heaven. I love your name. So tell me how you were able to kind of do that, though. How were you able to kind of build that type of relationship where you felt comfortable enough to even ask for help in those relationships?
Yes.
Honestly, there's a book, I don't want to say the title wrong, but it definitely has the word boundaries in it.
Okay.
And if I can find it, I will mention it. But it's just setting those boundaries and not being afraid of not so much rejection, but how people, take that. If you have pure intentions and good intentions, and like you're clear when you're communicating and what you want and what you want to get out of a relationship, then that just being clear and setting those intentional boundaries.
And can I ask you another question? Heaven, I know you're on the chair right now, but can you give us an example of maybe of maybe what you had asked a friend to do for you before? Because I can give examples, but I just want to know personally for you, like, is there a moment where you can think back that you really needed some help, and what was it, you know? If you don't mind sharing.
Yeah, definitely. I can't, not at all. Can't think of any like friend ones because I'm still working on that part of my life. I'm very to myself, and like I said, like those boundaries and keeping the people that I surround myself with, you know, in pure and like-minded, then yeah, just the friend part is not there. But I had a situation with like my stepdad. I wasn't feeling his vibe. He's negative, and it just wasn't for me. So I had to just distance myself, let him know, like, listen, I love you, but it's just your energy. And that actually, you know, he took a look in the mirror and had to correct himself. So
Nice. Thank you for sharing, Heaven. Who's next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
Hey, peace everyone. Happy New Year. I definitely want to speak to Ola's question. Like, for me, everything is spirit first. So, Olanikee, I even heard you say like building the sisterhoods and everything like that. But it's like and I want to add to that. I agree with what everybody was saying. And I want to add that, like, if you don't know where to go to even start those relationships, I would say start working on like what you think is your purpose or what you're passionate about. Because what I find that's true is like every time I'm doing what my ancestors, what spirit told me, guided me to do, even when I'm not, somebody would be like, hey, you know, here's this, here's that, you know, do you need anything? Like, I feel like my life is just so blessed in abundance to have the connections and networks that I do have. All that to my spiritual foundation, my praise and worship and veneration to my ancestors, my connection to my spirit guide, of course, God, you know, Oshun. I mean, the list just goes on and on. But if it's like, if you're a person that's like, okay, you know, I don't like women, or, you know, I cringe when I hear women say, oh, men are my best friend more than women, or I don't trust women. I'm like, what? How can you not trust yourself? You know what I mean? But it's like, start with spirit, start at your passion, start at your purpose, and just kind of work your way from there. And I love you. I love you, Jay.
Love you too. Raquel, I have a question before we have the next person go. So like you said start with spirit. I know you kind of gave a little bit of that, but can we just give like a baby 1, 2, 3 step?
Right. So I always guide people to meditation first, because it's like, even before you set up your ancestor altar, what I have found in my journey, my ancestors have literally told me, like, do not call on this person, do not call that person, you know, this is what I want, this is what I want. So starting with a 20-minute meditation, stilling yourself, you know, doing, it's like a technique that I do, is called Zazen. You want me to go into that, or?
Yeah, well, tell us, like, just go through like the meditation a little bit, and then like how that like helps you make that connection.
Okay, so you would put like a black dot in front of you in like 45-degree angle down your nose to where you're looking down, and you would put your right hand on top of your left hand on top of your right hand, thumbs slightly touching. That represents the feminine being held by the masculine, and then you would take your tongue and have it sit, you know, just slightly at the roof of your mouth. Before you do all that, set your timer for 20 minutes, and then you would breathe in and out, normal breathing, starting at 10 and then going backwards. And no matter what happens, no matter what you see, you know, oh, I think I forgot to turn off the stove. Oh, you know, daughter daycare fees, whatever it is that you're thinking of, sit there and look at the dot for 20 minutes a day, every day. It'll change your life, okay? So that has definitely increased my sensibilities and my intuition to even hear and open up my intuition and my connection to spirit, you know, and then ultimately to my ancestors and my spirit guides. So I would say definitely start from there, number one. Also, number two, I would say spend time in nature. Where you feel like going to, you know, my place, my domain is the river. I sit at the river, I get information there. If you feel like taking a stroll or walk in the park, put your phone on do not disturb, you know, unplug for however long you need to, but spend some time in nature. And number three is writing. Definitely connects you to your higher self, your Ori, your heart more. And if you don't know what to write, start off with saying, at the top of the page, how do I feel today? And just allow yourself to express yourself, because a lot of times, like, we have our intuition, but we haven't listened to ourselves for so long. So even when we do have a girlfriend, or it's like, you trust them or you don't trust them, but your intuition already told you about that person or told you who to talk to, but you don't trust yourself. So you may or may not miss that opportunity to gain that sisterhood and that real true friend connection. So ultimately, connect with spirit, connect with your heart, and allow your sisterhoods to flourish from a place of love, authenticity, and like destiny, really. So that's what I would say.
Thank you so much, Raquel. I just want to bring this back and just reset the room. The reason why Raquel Omitola had mentioned for her connecting with spirit being very important, because just like I had mentioned in the beginning, like me focusing on the unseen world has been very helpful for me, because we have the this physical reality, and we also have the unseen world as well, which is the spiritual. And so when she talked about working in having a connection to spirit, it's like you can also call in more help directly from spirit, and more help can show up in your life. And so for an example, an affirmation that came up for me was, I have all the love and support I need right now. I have all the love and support I need right now. I have all the love and support I need right now. And so what you're doing is creating a channel to where you can receive more help. And you don't kind of want to just kind of focus on where it's coming from, because the universe, God, creator, ancestors will very much so surprise you, Ola. I'm just kind of bringing it back. It's like you are creating a channel saying, hey, universe, hey, God, hey, creator, I want more help. I need more help. And you can even say it. You don't want to necessarily have it for monetary exchange. You may want to do a barter system or do something different, right? I want to receive help doing exactly what it is I love. So maybe you meet somebody and you're doing something that you love, and they help you, and now you're able to help them doing exactly what you love. So I'm giving this example because, yes, we can have the tangible physical examples of having a friendship and having a sisterhood, or me monetary paying for somebody to help me, like fold my laundry, but you can also call in more help spiritually so that shows up in your physical reality. Now, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, but I'm Jonia. Is it Jonia?
It's Jania, yes, Jania. Just like it looks.
Hey, love, what's up?
Hello, hi. Okay, so I got on here a little late, and so I'm not sure where we are. And I had a point when I asked to come in, but
Oh, okay. Do you remember? It's basically, we're just talking about my tweet that I had put out earlier, which is having help is nice. Okay. I refuse to be a strong, hardworking woman. I'm allowing flow and ease into my life on the daily with lots of love and support, aligning to what my life is. And so basically, I'm just saying that I don't necessarily want to be thought of as a strong, hardworking woman. I want to receive as much help as I can. And so I'm aligning myself to receptivity. So that's kind of what we're talking about. But do you remember? I hope you remember.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. And this year I practiced a lot of that. So, being the damsel in distress is okay. Just saying, like, I don't want to help with that. Can we ask for help with that and things like that? And just not always volunteering your help. And you'd be really surprised about how many people come to your rescue and approach you and offer help. And to really rest in your feminine, you have to reserve your energy for other things. You have to reserve your energy for your feminine hygiene, your feminine care, and just leveling up. So I definitely agree that this year we should be more open to receiving and not always just being a superwoman. And then on the daily, I think sometimes as women, with me, we feel like we always have to be doing something. It's okay to just chill. Like right now, I'm not doing anything, and that's okay. It's just right. It's stillness, and it's okay. Everything is working for me on the back end. I don't have to be out here just constantly just doing something. I don't always have to write. I don't always have to say my affirmations. Right now, I'm just chilling, and it's okay, because that makes me feel that my guides are working for me. So, like, literally right now, I'm just chilling. If you said, what are you doing, Johnny? I'm chilling, because everything is aligning. So that's my 2 cents on that.
I have a question, Jania, for you. Thank you so much for sharing. So now, okay, you had talked about people coming to you and providing help. Now, is there an example you can give where you kind of asked help in a way, like, did you post about it? Did you talk to people that you needed help? How did you go about asking for help?
Well, I mean, just prior to this, I just said, I have a TV I got for Christmas, and I know how to mount a TV. I'm sure I can figure it out, but that's just not my thing. So I just called my dad. I said, hey, Dad, I need help with my TV. And I didn't say, well, I can do it, or I can pay him, or anything like that. I was just like, hey, I need help. And he was like, okay, well, tomorrow I'll call my guy and send him over.
I love it.
That's it. Just ask, and don't make it seem like you're Superwoman. Like, they'll make it. I didn't even open the box. Like, I don't know how to do that. So here you go.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, that's such a beautiful example, Janelle, because it's just like literally, it can literally be that simple. But I think that we're so conditioned to then, oh, let me ask for help, but then let me automatically say, oh, but I can do this, or I can do this, or I can help you with the help. Like, I can help you as you do the help, right? But you just asked for it. Your dad said, I'm gonna send the guy over, and you said, I'm not even opening that box. They gonna do it. And I love that. So thank you for sharing. Thank you. Who wants to go next? Anybody up on stage?
I'm gonna go ahead and go.
Go ahead, Des.
Hey, so this is Des. This is a former introduction. 27 Atlanta, read the bio, but this really touched the place for me because this year was really a chance, a year of second chances for me, of just redoing it over. And whether it be not necessarily friendships, but even if it's relationships, work relationships, personal, whatever the case may be, I'm always the one that's frontline, basically. Whether it be work, always make sure, I'll make sure I do everything before somebody can say that they did it for me. That's just coming from not necessarily trauma, but in the past, it just didn't work. But when you say self-care, that really, and I have so much to say that I don't want to take away time from everybody else, but so let's give an example. I moved into my own place. I've been here for about 5 or 6 months.
Congrats.
And thank you so much. It's a major milestone for me because I really have been pushing. I keep manifesting. I'm gonna release a book, the bestseller, next year, so be on the lookout.
I say.
But to come so far, I have to literally stop. So one day I was burned out. Okay, there's a perfect example. And I had a friend there, literally in a different state. I'm on the phone like, I cannot move. I'm burnt out. I'm tired. My son is running all over the house. I cannot. They literally had to walk me through it verbally, or for me, I had to connect mentally and be like, okay, I'm gonna do step by step. And it took about 45 minutes to an hour, but to have people in place that understand your push, your drive, and why you've been going so hard, but also understand that they have to guide you to that next step. You have to be intentional with who you have in your life. So I definitely understand that. Hold on, okay. But overall, that self-care is real. I'm quick to say, I don't want to take off for work. And I'll say, I can work from home. My supervisor will tell me, no, take off. And we'll see you when you come back. Like, I've been off since last Thursday. I don't go back till next Wednesday.
That's a good boss.
She's like, no. She's like, you have your time. Literally, it's your personal time. And she said, because I did it a year ago. And she was like, I could see the difference when you came back to work. You had a different head on your shoulders. And I could see that you really needed that. So to have that energy, like I say, at work, whether it be at home, at work, when you have those people, they're in your life for a reason. And so it just so happens we vibe so well that I'm just like, everything happens for a reason. So when you say being in tune with your spirit, manifestation, I've started back journaling, and really, people call it talking to yourself, but you're literally just getting your thoughts out and processing what life has handed you. And I think it's a great thing to do. And like you say, Julia, you don't have to do it every day. But when you do, it just flows. I can go back to my journal and look at 7 pages. I'm like, where did this come from? But you realize I've just been sitting on this on my everyday life. So it really helps.
That's Shay. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you for sharing that example. Oh, I thought my mic was off. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you so much for sharing that example about your supervisor saying, hey, no, take the time off. Don't do no work. Like, take the time off, and how you came back and they saw the difference. And that's what it is. You know what I'm trying to say? That's what it is, like an example of what I mean by I refuse to be a strong, hardworking woman, allowing ease. Yes, I do know my internal strength, but I'm talking about strong and hardworking put together. To me, that just means slaving. To me, that means hustle till you die. That means tired, burnt out, just like you said, Des. And so it's just like, if I am taking the time for myself, if I'm receiving the help that I need in the areas that I know I need, I'm going to be a whole different person. I'm going to be me on 10. I'm going to be me on 20 because I just kept that energy for myself and focused on the things that I know that I could do and wanted to do. So thank you so much, Des, for that example. Did anybody else up here want to go before I continue? All right, I left it open. Francesca, was that a yes?
Yes, I just wanted to piggyback on Heaven and Raquel. Basically, like they said, you have to get around people who fit your future. And when you get around people who fit your future, the help will come. Your network is your net worth. So you just have to, again, get around people who fit your future. Prime example, because I have a friend who's in the hair industry, my daughter loves to braid. She gave her the opportunity to come and help her braid, and she paid her, but I didn't have to ask for that help. She offered that help because of the relationship that we have, the networking that we do together. So if you're around the right people, the help will come to you. You really don't have to ask for it.
Let's see. Thank you, Francesca. Anybody else before I continue?
I just want to, I spoke to answer a question, but I didn't really give my view on the topic at hand.
Go ahead.
So I wanted to share that right quick. I completely agree. I do refuse to be a strong, hardworking woman because it takes you out of your femininity. It takes you out of your feminine flow. It's like, yes, femininity is strength and power, and there's a fair side to it. However, who wants to do this? I want to be dainty. I want to be cared for. I want to be, pampered and allow other people to do things for me. There's joy and pleasure in that as well. So I'm definitely on that wave. I'm on that path because, and it doesn't mean that you don't give to other people. Your heart is big, your heart is expansive, but now it's more so about allowing people to pour into you. That's my version of it as well.
Shay, thank you so much, Raquel. I'm going to just reset the room as well. Again, for anybody joining us, thank you for joining. We are talking about the topic at hand, which is I refuse to be a strong, hardworking woman, allowing ease. And this comes from the tweet that I had tweeted earlier today that said, having help is nice, okay? I refuse to be a strong, hardworking woman. I'm allowing flow and ease into my life on the daily with lots of love and support, aligning to what my life is. And I stated that part, my life is, because I'm continuing to align to that each and every day with simply asking for help. And the example I had given earlier was that there was a huge ass pile of laundry on my couch that I did not even one being in my spirit, did not want to fold. And I had asked this new lady that comes over to my house to clean, hey, can she fold my laundry? And I've never asked her to do that before. She usually just sweeps and mops, but I asked her to fold my laundry. She said, yeah, she'll do it. And I came out, I looked at my couch and everything was just so folded up and so neat and so nice. And I was just in so much gratitude. And I said that I'm so grateful because now, yes, I can, exchange monetarily with people and pay them to do things, because at one point in my life, I was very much so just using my masculine energy. And there was one thing that, and I will say this, anybody can raise their hand, anybody in the audience, if you have anything to say about this, you can raise your hand and you are allowed upstage. So just letting you guys know, I'm inviting you guys up. One thing that Raquel had mentioned, which is about, she was saying that, yeah, as feminine energy can include being a warrior, can include strength, and it does, right? But she also mentioned, hey, she wants to be dainty. She wants to be taken care of. And I think that's beautiful. And I kind of wanted to ask you guys your ideas of femininity, because I know personally, just by looking on YouTube, there's a lot of femininity videos going around. And I don't necessarily agree with all of them, just because sometimes I think it sounds like this to me, like 1920s woman, shut up, be cute, and that's it. But I know that's not everybody's perspective. And so for me, in this time in my life, I am, acting more in my feminine energy while acknowledging my masculine energy. But my feminine energy is not going to be shut up and be quiet and look cute, but I will receive help, and I will do other things that kind of, reflect that. So I just want to know if anybody had any thoughts on like any femininity videos or their actual idea of like what femininity is. You can raise your hand. You could chime in if you're on stage. Let me know.
Well, my idea of femininity is like fresh and juicy, inviting, a woman that makes anyone feel at ease or inspired, just inspires and makes their environment better. To me, that's true femininity. Also, upkeep and self-care are things that we can't neglect. I think that's a huge part of being feminine also, but mainly just to have be comfortable in yourself and have a bright spirit and inspire those around you. I think that's a true feminine woman.
Lovely. Lovely. Thank you so much, Gina. Anybody else? All righty. Well, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that a bit because I know sometimes when people are searching for that, is searching for, well, how can I get more into my feminine energy? How can I get more into my divine femininity? I think that's like such a big question. And I know the first thing people do, other than Google, is they YouTube things, and you can find a lot of these femininity videos that I think, come from a really good place and a really good perspective. But I also think sometimes, the perspective could be pushing it a bit, where we're now taking it back to like a 1920s type of woman. And again, there's nothing wrong with being dainty and being careful, because I think that's beautiful and I love that. But I also, again, want to know, I want that whoever I'm with, whoever I'm around, to also understand that I know my power. And so if I want to speak on something, I'm going to speak on something, I'm going to say something. And so that's why for me, like with femininity, we can have that, but we can also have a warrior as well. But it doesn't have to look necessarily masculine, so to say. But I just want to thank you guys for being in this room. I am going to close this within the next 2 minutes. If anybody else has anything to say about this topic, please raise your hand or speak now. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining. I'm excited to release this podcast on this. And I just literally had this thought on my mind all day. I made the tweet, and I'm like, I first wasn't going to have this chat today. I was like, oh, maybe I'll wait tomorrow, but it was still on my mind. And so I just wanted to talk about it. So I just want to say thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for sharing your thoughts and your perspectives. I so appreciate each and every one of you for being here, whether you were on stage or whether you were a listener. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate your time, and everyone that spoke. I definitely got a lot out of it.
Thank you, Heaven. I freaking love your name.
Thank you.
No problem. I just want to say thank you as well. And then I wanted to say thank you for the work that you do behind the scenes as well, from your text messages, your right, you saying daily. I'm thinking, oh my God, somebody text me. Oh, all right, let me go ahead and get to it. They give you that extra boost, and that's very much appreciated. If you don't hear it enough, I myself, I'm sure many others are grateful for that. I just want to encourage you to keep going as well. I know sometimes some days make it overwhelming, but you're doing amazing.
Oh, thank you so much, Des. I truly, truly appreciate that. That makes me smile.
Yes, I wanted to piggyback on these sentiments. You are so well loved and appreciated by many, many, many people. And the behind the scene work, your heart is so full. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate you being in my life as well. I did want to kind of share my perspective or femininity. I do see a lot of like the daintiness, things of that nature, which is good, which is cool. But I guess the conversation that it lacks is the fierceness, like the warriorship. Like if you think of a mother, she's extremely protective of her child. Like that is femininity too. You think of chaos and creativity, that is femininity too. So it's like it is, and femininity is also about magnetism and attraction and beauty, and it's like the unseen power. Like you can't see it, but you can feel it. You know, like how I think was it one of the sisters was saying, like, you know, inspiring other people. You know, that spirituality, that intuition. So definitely, femininity is like the internal world, while masculinity is like the external. But it's not only like, okay, just, you know, cutesy cutesy. It's also that destruction is what I'm trying to say. So yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Raquel. I was gonna mention like the magnetism part. That's why I had mentioned with somebody, I think it was Ola, she had left the room, but she had asked a question. I had mentioned like orgasms, like giving yourself an orgasm. And the reason I mentioned that is because we got to start using our yoni power. And I'm learning more and more that orgasmic energy is truly juicy and nice and will attract shit to you. And so when we start using our yonis in that way, such as giving ourselves an orgasm, we are saying, hey, I am receiving pleasure. I love pleasure. I need to receive more of this. And so universe, God, creator, ancestors, whomever, you know, will work their magic to make sure that you receive more of that. And so, as you are giving yourself an orgasm, an affirmation to say is that I'm receiving all the love and support I need now. Just so you can send that energy out into the universe. I just wanted to make sure I also said that because Raquel did talk about magnetism.
I wanted to touch on that as well. That was another thing I was searching mentally when I was on the spotlight. But that is very real. I did it before to detail, but when you to tell yourself to release, to let go, to whatever is holding you back, or reiterating those affirmations to yourself, like you say, that's another level. I wasn't prepared, and when I did, it's almost like you look back at yourself like, "Self, is that you?" It really surprises you, but it's very powerful. And like I said before, being intentional with that, you got to be responsible. A lot of people, from what I see just from Facebook and different groups, a lot of people are wanting so bad to just jump on the bandwagon, or just want to jump into that spiritual realm, but you got to be careful of what you do because you never know what you're welcoming or what you're releasing. So definitely do the research, definitely take your time into it. But once it's a whole new world, like Olanikee.
Ashe. Thank you, love. All right, guys. Well, I am going to say good night. Thank you, Selfish Babes, for joining. If you do not have the Selfish Babe app on your phone, please download it today. It is at no cost to you, and it's going to send you a daily affirmation as well as a self-love reminder to your phone. Also follow at SelfishBabes with an S on Instagram, as well as me, Olanikee Osibowale. And if you ever want to detox and cleanse your vagina spiritually, emotionally, you can check out my business, Goddess Detox. We sell the Goddess Vaginal Detox Pearls, as well as the Queen's Vaginal Steam. And that website is goddessdetox.org. Everything is in my bio. And I am affirming that I will be having more Selfish Babes conversations because I really do love interacting with you all in real life, in real time. Happy New Year, and stay blessed. Love you guys. Mwah. Good night. Bye.